Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, How to Navigate Oracle ERP Quarterly Update Testing with Ease. So my name is John Collett, and I am the Sales Director for Winfo Solutions. I'll be your host today, and I'm delighted to welcome you all. Also on the call today, we have Venkata Nori, Co-founder and Director of Winfo Solutions, who has many years of Oracle application experience. And also we have Kaushik Sekaran, Product Delivery Manager, who is also on the call and is going to be talking about a very exciting case study a bit later on in this webinar. So firstly, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to attend what I believe will be a very informative, productive, short webinar. We do appreciate you finding a slot for us in your schedule, and I'm sure you'll find it an informative session. By the way, we hold these webinars monthly, so be sure to look out for the next one in December as well. So let me run through a few housekeeping points just to start with, to ensure that everything does run smoothly. To confirm with everyone, this webinar is being recorded today, and all of you will have your microphones muted. From our side, you'll be able to see and hear each of the participants. The webinar will be recorded and made available via a link to you all at the end of the session, along with some content. Okay, so let's move on to the agenda. I'd like to start by saying Winfo Solutions has got a significant experience in Oracle applications testing, and WinfoTest has been developed based around the challenges our customers were facing. So we'll be really interested to hear from you and understand what your challenges have been so far. So please feel free to put those in the chat, or you can mention them in the Q&A session we'll have at the end of the webinar. So Winfo Test automates the whole process at the click of a button, saving significant time, resource, and cost, and taking the pain out of quarterly upgrades. So in this webinar, we'll provide a high-level view of Winfo Solutions briefly at the beginning. Why is automated testing so key? Then Venkata will go through automated testing, the key features and benefits, plus a live demo of our Winfo Test solution. We'll also cover the case study that I mentioned a bit earlier for you, which Kaushik will go through, and then we'll have a Q&A and summary and next steps. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them by the end of the session. As I said, I'm going to just provide a brief overview of Winfo Solutions here. Winfo was founded in 2015 by Oracle experts who have many years' experience and a deep understanding of Oracle ERP. In actual fact, we have 70 qualified accountants in the business, with over 300 experts employed by Winfo across the globe in Hyderabad, India, the UK, Ireland, and USA, supporting many customers across the globe in those geographies and more. Winfo's core capabilities are around enterprise transformation. And what does that mean to us? Helping organizations to be more efficient through our implementation services, as well as testing and business process automation to help you drive efficiencies. It's through this experience we've developed our Winfo Test solution, which we're going to focus on today, to automate the whole testing process by the click of a button. So today we'll be demonstrating this capability to you and talk through a recent case study, as I've mentioned earlier, which hopefully will be very interesting for you, highlighting some of the significant benefits there. Moving on swiftly, though, what I'm going to talk to you about now is just some of the key challenges that our customers have told us about. So as I said, we'd be really interested to know what your challenges are. So please feel free to add those into the chat or to ask them at the end in the Q&A session. So here are a few application testing challenges that I'm sure you'll all be very aware of and familiar with. So Oracle, as you know, has a mandatory quarterly update cycle, and updates require resource and time on manual testing, which can be significant. And as you know, there is only a 2-week period to complete all these testing, your regression testing, etc. And this can put unnecessary pressure on the business. So completing quarterly testing can affect business priorities in terms of time, resource, and cost. So covering all of the testing scenarios as well manually is sometimes not possible due to limited test coverage. We have developed over 1,400 pre-done test scripts, so we've taken a lot of the pain out of that process. All of the above can lead to delays in projects due to availability and resources, as I'm sure you all know. And there are significant benefits in automating the testing process, again, to take the pain out of the quarterly updates and increase your efficiencies. So I'm now going to hand over to Venkata Nori, who is the co-founder and director of Winfo Solutions, to go through automated testing, highlighting some of the key features and benefits, and go through a live demonstration of the solution. So over to you, Venkata.
Thank you, John. Thanks a lot. Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning for those in the US. So as John said, it's a very common challenge across all the clients that we worked with. And when we started to build Winfo Test, we started with a vision to simplify test execution with click of a button. I'll actually demonstrate what that click of a button means, right, as part of my demo. So before I go into the demo, I just want to explain some of the key features and the approach. So let us start with some of the key features. Winfo Test is a SaaS-based solution, fully secured, it has got two security features mainly to talk about. One is project-based security. So your HCM team can look after only their scripts while your rest of the teams can manage their other pieces of testing, etc. as an example. And also role-based security, based on the role that they play on the projects, the security can be enabled. Pre-built test script library, as John mentioned, we have over 1,600 plus test scripts available pre-built, and we create more scripts for the clients as needed to their solution, including past solutions using our AI-powered assistant. And once the scripts are prepared, we create a processes, like, whether it's P2P process, O2C, R2, or whatever is the processes, we can set up processes by dependencies across the test scripts, and the process testing can be done. And while the process are set up as test runs, we also create test data for them, and that test data created can be pre-validated, against the environment on which we are going to do the testing. We support all PaaS extensions, whether it's VBCS or Apex or ADF, whatever are the application extensions built, or personalizations within the application, or OIC integrations, whatever is your extensions that are supported by the product. You can schedule your testing. Again, I'll demonstrate that. Everything runs in the background. You don't need to wait and watch, keeping your monitor open, click the buttons, not to do anything. That is not required. Everything executes in the background. 24 plus scripts run in parallel, but if you want more, it auto scales the infrastructure to another 24 and multiples of 24, it keeps extending. Once your testing is complete, your reports and analytics are available. Alerts also, you will get notifications on when the testing is complete. We have self-healing features which will enable the scripts to auto-heal, and that's what we use to deploy the latest version of the scripts onto your applications. It's seamlessly integrated with your single sign-on or your Jira or whatever the products like Azure DevOps, SmartBear, X-Ray, whatever the tools that you are using, it can integrate with them for reporting and things like that. We support multi-browsers and multi-language, and all the scripts within the Winfo Test are all version controlled, meaning you will get the latest version of the script into your environment every quarter, which is upgraded and ready for your testing. So let's understand how the whole approach is going to work, right? So we have test script library pre-built, and we can add more custom scripts for the customer. And then we create test run templates. These test run templates are more aligned to your processes, say your O2C, P2P, whatever is these processes are, and then prepare the input test data. So we work with the business to understand what is the input test data that is required to execute your testing. And once that's done, it's all one-time setup. You can execute your testing as many times as you want. And after the execution, you can actually look at the reports and validate your testing, and any defects, they will be created in your Jira or whatever the defect management is. And then once they are resolved, they get updated and retested as well. So let me demonstrate the application and the features that I'm just talking about. Let me stop the screen share and start again with the application. So let me go to. Okay, so I hope you are able to see my WinfoTest application. So the way to log into this is it's a URL, it's a SAS URL. I logged in with SSO. This is by SSO. When you log in, you have a home page which gives you access to the key navigations within the application. You can also see some dashboards and reports, which you can again filter by the projects, and you can validate how you are performing on your testing. So as I promised, I will go to demonstrate what a click of a button means, right? So as part of one-time setup, I will have a test script that's created in this fashion, for example, where I have all my P2P, R2R projects, payroll, HR, PPM, all these scripts are all available here. And we already have the test data created. All I'm going to do is just click this button, and now it's ready to execute. So the moment I click this, able to see my screen, I will actually do a screen share of my inbox just to give you a flavor of the notifications that I get. So I would receive a notification saying that, this particular demo, execution HR test has started. It has started all the scripts that we have just created. So, let me rules. I think I need to probably go to my inbox. They may have not at reached to this. Okay, so the emails will be coming. I can show you more after we finish. I'll just get back to my application. So here, this is being tested. All these scripts are in progress. Some of them fail because I would not have put the right test data and things like that. So I would receive notifications for each of them. So let me explain how we get to this place, right? So we create say, for example, we have these templates. As part of my one-time setup, we would have created these templates, say Winfo Test demo regression pack, which is which is a template which is created and got executed. And we have created all the test runs that are required here. And then we have put all the test data that is required, and we have executed, validated this. So once it is complete, you would see something like this, right? So you would see a status report which explains how the testing has been completed, with all the test runs here. And then for each of the test runs that's completed, you will have a report here. So you can click on the report, which will give you all the pass and fail together. And it will also tell you a very detailed report. So I want to know how my create receipt has executed. So I can click on 37, which is the page. So it will tell you how it executed and what are the steps it took. For every step it executed, it has evidence. So it created the script, it navigated to the inventory management system, and then it created the receipt. It is step by step, you see everything that it has executed, and each of those navigations along with the screenshot, along with the test data is all put here. So the purchase order number is used here, and it has searched for it. You can see all the steps here, and the evidence is available to see how that particular script is created. At any point in time, you can go back, you can go into the subsequent the past case and go for it. So if you want to see the past ones, you can click on this. It will show you the past report, and when there are failed ones, you'll get a highlight here, and you can validate the failed ones, and then you can validate this. Once you have this template, all we need to do is just copy this schedule. I can say Winfo Test webinar 23D, for example, and I can choose the project in which I want to run. So I'll put it to 23 demo testing, and you can choose the environment in which you want to run. So as part of the one-time setup, we would have created all the environments on which you may want to do the testing. So you will have this, you will have like test, dev, UAT, whatever the environment you can choose, and you can put a date. So typically what you can actually do here is on Friday, if your environment gets for an upgrade, Saturday it becomes available. So you can put a date, on a Saturday, for example, in the evening, and then you can click OK, and you can schedule your testing. As you see here, the incremental of the values is set to yes. What this means is it will increment the values that are required. Like, for example, your invoice number is unique. You cannot have the same number. So it will increment the values that is required. And then you just click on save and close. So your script is now, your schedule is ready. You can just execute it. It will get executed based on the schedule. If you want to execute now, you can just click on the button. So that's what we have achieved by clicking execute with click of a button. So I just want to also show you something here. You can also set up dependencies against each of the test runs. So you may want to execute your procurement and projects and other things. Then you want to execute your R2R test scripts, for example. So you can define those dependencies here and say that, okay, you execute only P2P test run, based on your R2R test run based on your P2P completion. So you can set this up, and the system will automatically look at those dependencies and execute based on those dependencies. So let me show you how this particular test script would look like, right? So in terms of the test runs that we created, so here is the schedule. Here we have all the test runs. You can click on this. In this case, we have not executed, so everything is available. Within these test scripts, you can see that we have, all the P2P test scripts, right? So create requisition, then create a PO from the requisition, communicate PO, and then create receipt and create invoice. So for each of these things, you can actually see how, these are in the sequence, they will be executed. There are dependencies set. You can actually validate the test data for each of them. So if you click on this validate, it will show you that this particular script is validated. If you want to validate all of them in one go, you can click on this. It will validate everything in one go. Say, for example, I want to use a different user here. I save it and I will click on validate. So the moment I validate it, it will tell me that I have an error, which says that in this particular environment against which I'm running, which is a dev environment here in this case, this user doesn't exist. So, and hence your script will fail. As you can see, my demo that I submitted, it got failed because I have chosen a wrong environment there against which we connected. So you can validate all your test data even before you execute against the environment in which you can do. So I will actually show you a bit more details about this particular test run. So I'll go into the test runs navigation. Right, so I will put the test run name here. Let me quickly do that. Right, so this is the test run name I have put in the in that particular test run. So I'll just go here, and again I have these requisition and all these steps. So if I look at these dependencies here, you can see that the scripts are all dependent on each other, because I cannot create a requisition. Sorry, I cannot create a PO without a requisition created. So all the sequence is all factored in here, and the dependencies are all set up. The other thing that it can also do is, if you look at the create requisition, the requisition number only gets generated after the script is executed. So it takes the dynamic requisition number created by that one script, and it will pass on to the second script where I need a PO to create the requisition. So I use the requisition number to create and execute the test scripts. And it's quite easy to update the test data if you want to update. So all you can do is you can download here. You get an Excel sheet, and within that Excel sheet, it gets a a format in which your business or your test team can just update, or even your functional team can update that, and those particular values can be updated and can be uploaded back into the application by click of a button. So let me share my Excel sheet here. Okay, so if you are able to see my Excel sheet here, so it has downloaded all the data that is required. Everything is grayed out. You have these input values that are available that you can actually quickly update, and then you can come back into the application and just click on the upload button here. So we have this upload button. You choose that CSV file and just upload it. So it's pretty easy and straightforward to maintain your test data as well. So let us look at how we create these scripts, right? So we use something called WinfoTest script assistant. As you can see on my browser here, I have a small plugin that comes with my browser. So I will just log into the Fusion demo environment here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a script. I click on start. The moment I start, it will actually capture every step that I execute here. So I'm going to do a sign on into the application. So I'm going to just create a customer as an example, so that we can see how the application test scripts gets created. So let me click on this, navigate. I will go into, say, receivables billing. Right, so the application is loading. I'll just go on to, right, so I came into the navigation now. I'm going to create a customer. So I came into the customer screen. I will say, I'll create a customer, say webinar demo, and I want to put a DUNS number. I'll just pick up a number here. Then I will put a registry ID number here. I want to put an account number here, say 60 here. Account description, say I'll put test demo, account type external, customer class I can choose, say I'll put consumer, account address set. I can choose what is the application. So whatever navigations that I do, it will capture all the steps. After you finish all the step execution, you can stop and submit. You can choose the process area. For example, I'll choose O2C here, say account manager, say module receivables, put billing manager, say create manual customer. Okay. Create manual customer. Okay. And you can choose the priority. This is only for helping you to choose the scripts. You can select the version on which you want to create, and the type I'll choose custom, and you can choose the application is Fusion in this case. So I just submit. When I submit, it created a test script, and it is, I'll show you how the test script would look like. So as John mentioned, we have the pre-built test script library here, and I'm just navigating to that. So there are a bunch of test scripts that are already available for each of the version. So as you can see here, it's about 5,000 plus scripts, but I will go by version here. If I go on the version, I will go to 23D. So I will know in this demo environment, how many scripts do I have, right? So if I choose 23D as an example, in this environment, I may have slightly lesser than what we would have had in the repository. So you have all the HCM scripts, financial, supply chain, all the modules are all available. So I'll go and query the script that I just created now. So let me refresh this so that I can query that particular script. So coming here, and set the script, right? Search. So the script is all done. The script, create manual customer is here. It has created all the steps, and now you see all these things are captured in simple English. So it captured all the steps. Everything is very clear. Anyone without much testing knowledge can understand all these scripts. So it's so easy to create scripts. And if you want to update the scripts, it is also quite easy. And, here you can add a row. Say, for example, you have a DFF that you want to populate. You can put the details here. Say you want to enter customer reference. And you can put customer reference, and if it is specific to that particular client, it's so easy to update your steps like this. So I want it to be a text field or a drop down. I can choose here. So here I'll choose text field and save. So my script is now customized for you. I'll stop here. So this gives you a good overview of the product. So I'll just get back to the slides now again. Just let me share my screen, and let me go to full screen. Okay, so I just want to conclude my demo here, right? So WinfoTest benefits, right? So we all know test automation gives you time efficiencies, coverage, resources, and all the sort of that. But what WinfoTest additionally offers is readily available test scripts, supports all the test Oracle modules. We cover over 40 plus modules within the application. It's easy to create test scripts, as you saw in the demo. Everything is automated, so you can just click the button, it does the execution. There is no training required, right? Anyone with some basic understanding of Oracle applications can create the test and manage and execute. You can add your custom scripts, pass everything. The test data, once you create, it's already, and you don't need to do it again and again. And we offer every quarter we upgrade the scripts and put it on your environment so that you don't need to maintain your test scripts. So it's all maintained by the Winfo Test application. Only the custom scripts you may have to manage. So that's the benefit. So John, probably I hand over it back to you to go through the case study. John, you're on mute.
My apologies. Thank you very much, Venkata. That's great. There were some great questions coming in, so we'll be looking to address those in the Q&A. And if we don't get around to those, we can answer them via email. So thank you very much. Here we're going to provide a case study for a large global enterprise telecommunications company, which I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with. And this is where they were transforming from EBS on-premise to Oracle Cloud SaaS-based applications, ERP, HCM, and SCM, also using PaaS, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service solutions from Oracle. So there are a number of questions around integrations that were coming through the chat, and we'll look to address those in a moment. This organization, put out an RFP that we were invited to respond to. We got shortlisted and then were selected. We then completed our very easy to administer click wrap and order form for an annual SaaS-based subscription, for Winfo Test. As part of that, we provide a one-time setup services to ensure that implementation and timescales were met on time. So let's have a look at the quick business challenges that were facing Orange. So again, you're going to be quite familiar with them. And again, I encourage you to put any more in that you may have at your organizations. So clearly, time and resource on quarterly upgrade testing comes up time and time again. Tracking and reporting on tests that have been executed. Having a quarterly plan in place was both time-consuming and resource-hungry. There was great risk of project delays, and resource and availability to complete the testing were the key business challenges that were called out by Orange. So Kaushik will now talk through the actual delivery and implementation of Winfo Test. So thanks, Kaushik, and over to you.
Thank you, John, and a very good morning, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kaushik, and I lead Winfo Test delivery at Winfo Solutions. The case study that I'm going to speak to you today is Orange. Orange is one of the world's leading telecommunication operators. They are a big user of Oracle Cloud applications, and they had challenges with their testing. And they were looking for a fully automated testing solutions. The main criteria were the solution should be easy to implement and require minimal maintenance. Orange went through an RFP process and selected Winfo Test. The Winfo Test implementation at Orange was first initiated for Orange Romania. The scope of the project included Oracle Cloud Financials, APM, SCM, PaaS extensions, and OIC integration. The project was initiated on October 22. Now let's dive into the implementation of Orange Romania carried out by Winfo Test. The process of implementation was straightforward. Orange Romania has approximately 100 scripts in scope of automation, out of which 90% of the scripts were direct fit to a seeded library that was readily available in Winfo Test. For a small number of scripts, we had to create a custom script to map Orange Romania's configuration. Once it was done, the tool was ready to use. We conducted the regression testing for 22D, and the testing was meticulously controlled, and all the scripts were passed successfully. Now, let us see the achievements of Orange Romania with Winfo Test. In February, Winfo Test was scheduled to execute all the scripts for 23A upgrade automatically. The entire testing was successfully completed in just 2 days with minimal human interventions. As of date, Winfo Test has been successfully used to complete 4 upgrade cycles for Orange Romania. This has resulted in shorter testing cycles, more comprehensive test coverage, and the successful validation over 350 test scripts. This has enabled the team to focus on value-added activities and not worry about the testing upgrade. With the success of Orange Romania, WinfoTest is now being rolled out to Orange Oracle ERP solution globally. The solution is now deployed for Orange France. Just to summarize the key points, testing now completes successfully in 2 days. Testing is fully automated with WinfoTest. Orange Romania achieved an impressive 80% increase in test coverage using WinfoTest. I hope this gave you all a good overview of Orange Romania's implementation with WinfoTest. Thanks, and over to you, John.
Thank you very much, Kaushik. That was great and really good to hear about an enterprise customer like Orange there. So thank you. Now here you can see the customer statement. So I'll just read it out. So our collaboration with Winfo helped our teams reduce significantly the time spent to test Fusion on each quarter major update for new functionalities and doing non-regression tests. This allowed the business and ERP teams to focus on other activities that bring value to the company. Winfo Solutions is a very stable, easy to use, efficient, with huge potential to be used on other applications as well. So what a great statement and advocate for Winfo Test. That now brings us to the end of today's webinar. I'd like to thank you all for attending, and I'd like to thank Venkat and Kaushik very much for their sessions during the webinar. So I'm going to open it up for Q&A now. There are a number of questions that came in through the chat. So what we will do is look to address those first and then take any more questions. So Venkata, Sandeep asked first off, what's the next step if scripts fail here on some of the steps?
Yeah, I think there are multiple reasons why the script gets failed. So there is application loss of functionality, for example, and then you will have all the steps and all the errors, screenshots recorded. So what we do is we raise a ticket in the Jira or whatever the defect tracking system is. It gets a record in the or a defect in the Jira application, for example. And once the ticket is resolved by Oracle or by the support teams, whatever it is, and then we rerun the test and we pass the test. So that is one way of a real application issue that gets identified, and then that's how it gets resolved. If it is because of data, so in my web, in the demo today, what I have done is I have not validated the data, for example, because of the data or some of the user passwords are not right. You just update those user passwords and just rerun it again, because what each of the script require is that particular user associated with it and the role associated with that to execute the test script. So if the data is not correct, then it fails. So these are the validations that we do upfront as part of the initial setup, and we create all those things and you just validate and keep it ready so that you can execute it as many times as possible. Maybe we can go to the next, John.
Yeah, that's great, and great question, Sandeep. So Sylvain has asked a number of questions. We'll try to get to all of the questions, but we may not have time. So Sylvain asked, how we test the API calls to Oracle, and what about the reports?
So we have API features as well. So we have API testing supported on this application. We ourselves use API calls to Oracle itself to validate even the test data, as an example. And what is the other part of your question, John? One is
so sorry, there was what about the reports, and I missed one bit at the end because we had quite a few. Is there some version control on the test scripts being able to revert to prior values of a script, for example?
I will go through all that, right? So the version the reports, OIC integrations, then any of your pass extensions, ADF-DI, all those features are available on the product. So as I called it, pass extensions, right? That includes reports and OIC integrations. The even if the process starts in one application, say, for example, we have customers who use, say, Salesforce. The process starts in Salesforce, then we run OIC integration and we come back into Oracle and validate the data. So it can also test across applications as well. In terms of version control, we version control each and every script that we have in the repository, because the script that works on one version may not necessarily work on the other version of the scripts.
Perfect. So thanks, Venkata. There was another question. I'm not sure where you covered a bit of that there from Nanda Kumar. Will this support integration testing?
Yes, as we said, we have clients using OIC, and we have OIC integrations included as part of the product, and we support OIC integrations. And if you are using something like, say, Dell Boomi, or you're using MuleSoft, we can support that as well.
Okay, that's great, Venkata. So some of the other questions then I'm going to go through quickly, given time. Does test script templates show fields which are required and which are option fields?
Yes, in the product itself, while we create the test scripts, we have these validations that we do it manually at the moment, but we are looking at automating that. So what it does is there are 2-3 different types of validations that we do. One is API validation, as an example. It validates whether that data exists in the application or not. That's one. And sometimes the format of the data, right? So sometimes you put a date or a period and it should match with the application format. Sometimes, the user doesn't do it right and it creates challenges. So we have those validations. And sometimes some fields are mandatory and some fields are unique, and sometimes they are mandatory and unique. So all those validations are all available as part of the product, and they get generated as part of the the script creation, and that's what we use for all the validations upfront in creating the scripts.
Great. No, thank you, Venkata. Great answer. So another question here, which I think will cover a few people's questions, is around Oracle updates and their front end and renaming of a field. How do you resolve this? And just following on to that, are you given prior knowledge of upcoming changes and updates at the same time, or is there a delay before you can adapt?
See, as soon as the Oracle releases, we have access to the Oracle, vision environments that gets upgraded before our clients take them. So what we do is we validate all the scripts to the latest version. And we also use the AI features that we have built within the product ourselves to get the scripts upgraded and validated. So usually we do that within the first 1-2 days of the product release. And we work with our clients to deploy the current version that is required for them before they take the upgrade. Say, for example, on the first Friday of the month, if a client is taking a 23D upgrade, the week before, we would have worked with the client, agreed on the action plan. We would have upgraded all the scripts within the application, and we also give them an overview of the impact that they are going to have on their solution, especially on the custom scripts which may be copied from the standard and created. So we give that overview and we get them. If we are doing it as a service, we will also fix the custom ones and get ready before the production gets upgraded. So the latest version is always in the production for the customers.
Perfect. Thank you, Venkat. We've got time for a couple more. So just quickly, here's a great question. Do we need to install any software on users' desktop for automating the testing, Venkata?
That's a very good question, John, right? So we are a SaaS product. Winfo Test is completely on the SaaS, and there is no requirement to install any software on your desktop or on your servers. We connect to your application using usually one of these two methods. If the application is available on the externally on the internet. So we, the WinfoTest application can access it directly. If not, we will usually take the IP whitelisting to access your environment, and that's how we get connected to your application. So there is no need for you to install anything on your application. Everything is on the SAS, and even
That's
the execution, even the execution happens in the background. So we don't need to have anything installed on your machines or VMs or anything.
Yeah. No, thank you, Venkata. That's great. Unfortunately, we're out of time. That's gone very quickly. Venkata, I can't see the final slide, unfortunately, which is the next steps, which would be great to see, where we can just wrap up. So I'd like to thank you all very much indeed for joining this hopefully short and very informative webinar. There are some next steps. If you can scan, we can't quite see the final slide, but that would be great. Yep. So we will be sharing the recording via email with you all. And also we'll provide some links to some additional content. If you want to have a further interaction with us, please email us. There'll be just reply back to the email that's sent to you, and we will also reach out to you individually, because I know there's a lot more questions that we just haven't had time to cover today, but we will cover those in a response to you directly. So once again, thank you to Venkata and Kaushik, and thank you all very much for joining the webinar today. And as I said earlier, look out for the next one. There'll be another one on a slightly different topic and angle in December. So thank you very much and goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.